It's these expressions I never give that keep me searching for a heart of gold.
Plenty of Canadians still love the music of Neil Young, but after you hear his latest comments, you might feel more like Lynyrd Skynyrd saying, we don't need him around here anyhow. Why? He's taken on the oil sands. Big deal, you say it's the oil sands. There's lots of opinions. But he's doing it in a way that's not too responsible and is attacking the town at the center of it, Fort McMurray, Alberta. Listen to what Neil Young had to say in Washington, D.C.
And when we got to Alberta, we headed north, and we kept going north and north for a long time until we got to Fort McMurray, Alberta, where all of the oil comes from, much of the oil that we're using here, which they call ethical oil because it's not from some Saudi Arabia or some country that may be at war with us. The fact is, Fort McMurray looks like Hiroshima. Fort McMurray is a wasteland.
So many issues to deal with in that short, brief comment, including the idea that the U.S. is at war with Saudi Arabia and other countries over oil. But let's deal with the Hiroshima comment. Joining me now from Fort McMurray, Alberta, is Tim Moen. He is a freelance production specialist at, well, you joined Neil Young for part of his tour of Fort McMurray. What were you doing for him?
Neil's production company hired me to do some shooting from a helicopter. They needed that specialty, and the helicopter company here recommended me, so I joined their crew for that aspect of the shoot.
So you're up there taking shots of Hiroshima and the devastation. Does Fort McMurray resemble Hiroshima at all? Because I've seen pictures of Hiroshima before and after. It doesn't, nothing I've seen makes it look like the Japanese city after the nuclear bomb went off.
Well, no, I mean, it's a beautiful community. You know, we are a group of people nestled in the middle of a beautiful boreal forest, and we're trying to make the world a better place by providing it energy in a responsible way. And yeah, there are areas around Fort McMurray that don't look very pretty. I mean, getting oil out of the ground hasn't always been a pretty process, although we're getting a lot better at that. And, you know, so Hiroshima, by the way, looks pretty these days. I mean, those people reclaimed the land. They made it look better than ever. And we're doing the same thing to the land that isn't so pretty now. It'll look beautiful in a couple more decades. And so, you know, we feel like we're being responsible stewards of the land. Our children live here. We're raising them in this community. And we have what the world needs, which is energy. And
I've seen before and after pictures of areas that were developed for the oil sands. Patrick Moore, who developed Greenpeace. These right now, by the way, are pictures of Hiroshima versus Fort McMurray. If you can't tell, the kids playing ball hockey, that's Fort McMurray, not Hiroshima. There's a visible difference between them. I mean, Neil Young was definitely going for the post-attack. But Patrick Moore from Greenpeace showed me the pictures, and quite often the land is in better shape after it's been reclaimed than it was before, when the oil was literally bubbling out of the ground. Did you feel that Neil Young had an agenda going into your town?
Well, I mean, he obviously had an agenda. Everyone who comes to film here has an agenda, whether they represent the environmental lobby or the oil industrial lobby. You know, my job as a community member here is to try to provide a balanced view, you know, of what it's like to actually live in this community and what we feel we're doing in this community and for the world.
All right, I want to play one more clip for you of Neil Young and get your reaction to what he had to say in terms of how you can taste everything in the air. Here's what he had to say.
And you can taste it when you get to Fort McMurray. People are sick. People are dying of cancer because of this.
He's standing next to Harry, I'm forgetting his name now. He's Harry Reid, one of the top Democrats, has the president's ear. We got a minute left. How does it make you feel knowing that as there's all this debate around what to do with the oil, getting it into a pipeline that might go to the U.S., that Neil Young's telling top American politicians, you guys are all getting sick and the air's horrible and it tastes rotten?
Well, I mean, we offered to show him a side of Fort McMurray he didn't want to see. And, you know, we are healthy people. We're thriving. We're flourishing. We wouldn't be here if we weren't. And, I hope Neil Young is careful, because I don't think that he wants blood oil to be shipping to the southern states. And we have ethical oil. I mean, it may sound cliche and overused, but we don't stone people up here, and we don't even use plastic grocery bags, for crying out loud. We care about the environment, and we have a lot of green initiatives, and we want this earth to be stewarded responsibly, and we feel we're doing that. So.
All right, Tim Moen, thanks so much for joining us, and all the best. We will make sure that we post your blog post out on our social media sites. Let people know about it. Thanks so much. Email me your thoughts on Neil Young, byline @sunmedia.ca. Stick around. More to come.